Good evening, everyone.
Yeah, I see it.
So, to start off, did everyone get a chance to take a look? I know it just came out a couple of days ago, or yesterday maybe. Yeah. The minutes from the April 24th.
Yes.
Yeah, pretty long, but no questions.
Hard to write, I bet.
All good?
Good job.
Seeing none, they are accepted. No emails?
None.
Okay. Then first up, new business, we have Rachel Albert, a proposal to have a little free library at South Pine Creek Beach.
She's on the phone.
Rachel?
Hi, everybody. Good evening. Thanks for having me.
So the way we do this, we just first start with you just introducing yourself and giving us your address for the record, and then if you would just tell us a little bit about your little free library, and then we'll ask questions if any come up.
Okay, perfect. My name is Rachel Albert. I live at 8828 Burbank, Burbank Road in Annandale, Annandale, Virginia, 22003.
Okay. If you could tell us a little bit about your project.
Sure. Can I just ask, the copy of the slides that I submitted, did you receive that in color or black and white?
Color. Blue.
Okay, perfect. I just wanted to make sure you were able to see the red square that was indicated for the location. So I am representing my two sisters. We grew up in Trumbull, Connecticut, and my mom currently lives in Fairfield. And this proposal is hoping to recognize my mom's 75th birthday with her honoring her love of the beach and her love of community and reading by donating a little free library to the South Pine Creek Beach site. So I think that's the briefest overview I can give. Do you want me to go into more details from the slides, or do you have questions now?
No, that's fine. Let's just go to the commission, see if there's any questions. But actually, I'm going to ask Anthony a question first. Room down there?
Yep, there's no issue.
Bridget?
Hi, Rachel. I just have a quick question since you're remote from Fairfield.
Yep.
Who's going to restock all the books?
That would be my mom, would be the steward, and she lives in that neighborhood.
Okay, gotcha. Sorry, I missed that.
Yep. That's okay.
Any other questions?
Brian, can I ask a question?
Who's this?
This is Jen.
Oh, Jen, I didn't realize you were there. Yes, of course you can.
Yeah, I just had a question because I know there was a reference in the slides to having to fundraise if this isn't something that gets paid for, and it's my assumption that would in fact have to take place. Am I wrong about that if the commission approves this?
Correct. So there were two on the very second to last slide. We would purchase all of the library and the post and any materials. That would be a donation. The request for funding was a request if Fairfield has Public Works or something that would dig the hole and install it. If the town of Fairfield is not able to donate that labor, we will work with the town to figure out how much that labor would cost, find an appropriate subcontractor, and figure that piece out. So that's a dollar value a dollar amount that I don't know in terms of, a little excavator digging a hole. So that was just the fundraising piece. The actual library and the post, my sisters and I and our families would donate flat.
This is Anthony, and we can provide the labor for that.
Okay, thank you. So then there's no fundraising issue. Yep, thank you.
Any other questions? Someone like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Bridget? And Jamie, any further questions or comments? Anything from the public? Jen, you good?
Yep, I'm all good.
Okay, so back to the commission. All those in favor? Jen?
Yep.
All right. Thank you, Rachel.
Really?
You're all set.
Really? What do I do now? Oh my goodness, thank you.
Yeah, just
I
kind
didn't think about that, huh?
of coordinate
I know.
Kelly.
with Kelly at the Parks and Rec office when you're ready to employ the DPW, and they can help you.
Okay, great. Thank you all so much.
Is there a specific spot?
Yeah, I'll put it in
You'll
the
find it
right
in
spot.
the-
We have a bench that's going in soon if it hasn't gone in already, but right next to that bench would be perfect.
Okay.
And who was that speaking just now?
Anthony?
That was Anthony.
Okay, so I'll follow up with Kelly about all those details.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay. All right, so next up we have Bridget Schulten from the Fifth State Distillery seeking an exception to the current policy to allow Fifth State Distillery to provide alcoholic products for sample and sale as part of the downtown farmers market. Bridget?
That's it.
Okay.
So Bridget Fulton, 105 Waterville Road, Southport, 0600. I'm the owner of Fifth State Distillery in Bridgeport, Connecticut. We've been in business since 2016. We manufacture spirits, including vodka, gin, whiskey, liqueurs, and ready-to-drink cocktails. My husband is actually the distiller and my best employee, I must say. He is training our son in the craft also. We buy our corn from Connecticut farmers up in Somers, Connecticut. They're fourth-generation family farmers. That's very important for us to do business with other Connecticut producers. So I'm here tonight to ask you questions of the no alcohol discount, parks, marinas, all that kind of stuff. So specifically for the farmers market only, which is Sundays, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. So just giving you a little history of why this is coming up now. As of July 1st, 2023, the Connecticut legislature allowed Connecticut manufacturers of spirits, wine, or beer to be at local Connecticut farmers markets to showcase their products, to taste, and to sell sealed bottles. So, for instance, last year we joined the Westport Farmers Market and the New Canaan Farmers Market in August of last year. We also participated in Westport's Winter Market. So this coming year is just starting now. Again, we have been invited back to Westport and New Canaan, but we will also be in Scranton, Monroe, Guilford, Coventry, and Oxford. Okay? So we would love to be in our hometown of Fairfield. We're a 33-year resident of the town. Midland Public Schools. We are members of the Chamber of Commerce. Here in Fairfield, the Bridgeport Regional Business Council, we do a lot of charity and nonprofit events. We just recently did the Chamber Gala at the Burr Mansion. Last fall, we were in the beer garden behind Town Hall. So there are exceptions that have been made along the way, and we would like to showcase our products at the Fairfield Farmers Market. This is also good for the local retailers who carry our products because we get a 4-hour window to market our products. That's really what we feel like this is for, because we think that if we can get it across your list, that you will most likely buy our products. And the best way to do that is to stand in front of you and talk to you about it.
So, a couple questions.
Sure.
Starting with the whiskey. So it's
Yes.
all bourbon?
Yes, it's all bourbon. It's made out of Connecticut corn.
It's all corn bourbon.
Yes.
Understood. Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's not a barley based. It's
No,
not.
no.
Yeah.
No,
So
we don't buy it.
Okay. All right. And how do you control who is walking up to your table to sample the goods?
Okay, so anybody can walk up to our table. We only can give tastes to people over the age of 21. We certainly card them if there is a need to card. We actually did it in New Canaan for about 2 weeks last year when they realized it was kind of a lot of, most people who buy our products are between, I would say, 35 and 65. It's a medium-priced product. It's not a base product that people would buy if they are just looking to have like a little vodka nip or something. And we don't sell the nips anyway. So our prices range from like $30 to $60. So that excludes a lot of people who don't want to do that. But we are by law bound to not serve underage drinkers. We by law can only serve 2 ounces. This is a half-ounce cup. This is what we use in our farmers market. So we fill it up about halfway, so that's probably a 1/4 ounce. So really, they're tasting the product. We're not trying to get them to sit down and have a cocktail at all.
You said 2 ounces. You didn't mean 2 ounces. You could serve someone 2 ounces?
Up to 2 ounces. That's what the law says.
Really?
We don't.
People try 1 or 2 things.
And they sip it, and then we have, they sip it, they throw it out. Like, we're not having people
This is 10 o'clock in the morning, but the people have it.
Yeah, a lot of people don't even try till after 11 or 12.
But ultimately, the responsibility is on us
Yes.
we don't have to serve. This is our product, and we choose.
We can say no, we can say, walk. I mean, just like a bartender, we can say no to anybody. It is our license on the line. We have a manufacturing license that cost us 2 years to get through federal, state, and local governments to get. We have hundreds of thousands of dollars of equipment in our Bridgeport facility. If they take away our license, that's it. So I'm not going to do anything.
Okay.
I'm not going to
Let's see if there's any other questions from the commission.
We also have a farmer's market license, which allows us to do this.
Yes.
Bill?
You said New Canaan now. How many other breweries are there as well?
There's one brewery in New Canaan and us. They don't like to have a lot, and it's only Connecticut manufacturers. So Tito's can't come in and say, I want to be in your farmer's market. It's only Connecticut. So
now in Connecticut, there are 125 breweries, but most of them have tasting rooms. There's about 5 or 6 distilleries who make spirits. Of those 5 or 6, there's only 2 or 3 of us who actually start with Connecticut-grown corn and put it in a bottle.
Are any of those other distilleries local?
There's one in South Norwalk, so no. And everything else is out of Fairfield County.
Okay. Anything else?
So the farmers markets, they really want diversity in their vendors. So they don't want to have 10 people selling the same type of food. They want, we're invited because we make it actually kind of interesting.
Sure.
We are additive overall to.
And we support Connecticut farmers, which is really what a farmer's market is all about.
Sure. Okay. Jamie?
What policy exactly is it that they're asking for an exception for, as opposed to us just approving alcohol sales?
11B.
Okay.
11B, which states that
no alcohol is allowed on
anywhere.
town property, parks, beaches,
No alcohol
marinas.
beverages allowed at town parks, beaches, marinas, or open space without the express written permission of the Parks and Rec. So it is not a specific rule in the farmers market application. It is the general rule.
Which we.
So all the events that we approve, typically, I don't say all the events, but any event that has alcohol asks for that exception. So we've granted, like I think they mentioned a couple of them. Harvest Festival's a good one that has the Rotary Beer Garden.
The Chamber,
Parkapalooza. Yeah, there's definitely some examples.
Have you researched any sort of temporary liquor license? I know that for an event that I am associated with, we have to get one.
It's not needed for a farmer's market.
Okay.
Yeah, the new July 1st, 23 law, it's very specific to farmers markets, and, we're limited into the number that we can participate in, and beer and wine could participate in farmer markets in 2015. It took another 8 years to allow the distillery.
Any other questions? I think it's a great idea. I'll support it. If anyone wants to make a motion.
Did you bring samples?
I got him in my car.
Okay, Billy, Bill and Bill. So, Dylan, 1, Bill, 2. Okay. Any further questions? Jen, you good?
I'm good.
Any questions comments from the public? None. Back to the commission. All those in favor? Jen?
Yep.
All right. So 10 o'clock, I will be there at 5:00.
Mid-June, it starts mid-June.
I will have a bacon, egg, and cheese in my system.
You have breakfast first.
All right.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Sure.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Okay. Next up, we have Eric Zapsik of Mind Travel. The request to hold a special event on either Friday, June 14th or Saturday, June 15th. Hold a Mind Travel experience for approximately 300 people on Jennings Beach. Oh, Aaron, not Eric. Excuse me.
Hi, I'm here. I'm Erin Zapsik.
Sorry, Erin, I said I misread it to Eric. I apologize.
Oh, no worries. It happens much more often than you might think. My address is 6309 and 3/4 Cahuenga, Cahuenga Boulevard in North Hollywood, California, 91606. I'm the administrator of the Mind Travel team, and I also have Murray Hittery, who's our artist, the Mind Travel creator and composer here on the call as well. And if you all don't mind, I'm going to turn the Mind Travel introduction over to Murray so that he can share a little bit more about what Mind Travel is and what it means to the community, and then I'll be happy to answer any questions. Did you all receive the application that I submitted to Kelly in the Parks and Recreation office?
Yes, we did.
Okay, great. Perfect. So you have all that information, and I will let Murray take the mic from here.
Thank you, Erin. Hi, my name is Murray Hittery. Would you like my address as well for the record?
Yes, please.
Okay, it's 4475 Nautilus, Nautilus Drive, Miami Beach, Florida, 33140. I really enjoyed actually listening to the first part of this call. So far, folks can get a great free book and have a drink at our concert. So it all goes together. I wanted to introduce myself. I'm a pianist and a composer as well as a mindfulness teacher, and I've created an experience called Mind Travel. We do it in beautiful locations all around the country. We do it in California coast, Central Park in New York, the beaches of Florida, and we typically go where people have requested that we bring this beautiful experience, and we've received many requests for Connecticut, and so I've been wanting to bring it there for a long time, originally a New Yorker and studied there and trained there, so I have a lot of people I know in the community there. The experience is actually a silent one, and you can say, well, how could it be silent if it's a piano concert? Well, we put the whole audience in wireless headphones, and so there's no sound at all. I use an electric keyboard on the sand, and we provide our own power, no generators, just battery power. and the audience receives headphones, and that's how they hear the music. From the outside, there is zero sound. So it's a completely no to low impact event, and only the people who sign up for the event would get the headphones and can listen to the experience. People typically will bring a blanket, a beach chair, and they will sit around on the sand. The event is approximately 2 hours, and we always do it closer to sunset, so we're not in the way of any or interfere with any beach-going activity for the people using the beach during the day. We do this in beaches all over, and we always partner with the local towns, municipalities, and we've developed some wonderful relationships, and we really prefer not to just have a one-off event, but a relationship over time so we can really build something for the community. The event is original music, it's instrumental, and it's a very relaxing, very peaceful experience. It's like kind of like a meditation looking at the sea. So a very calming and relaxing experience, and we're really hoping to bring it to Jennings Beach, and I want to thank you in advance for your consideration of this event. Any questions?
I think we probably have a number of questions. I'm going to just start off. I'm looking at your 19-point overview, and you're talking about either a Friday or a Saturday with the arrival time and setup starting at 3 o'clock, and then the breakdown ending at 11:30, which is kind of late for the neighborhood. But I guess my concern, and maybe you can speak to this, is the fact that it is in the middle of the beach season here, and looking at the picture, the audience and the location that you want on the beach is taking up a big slug of the area, and if you have 300 people coming in, that's going to take up a lot of the parking lot as well.
Yes. Anything else, or should I address that first?
You could start with those couple points, and then I'm sure there's going to be a lot of other questions.
Absolutely. Yes. Thank you. Yes, and that's the exact concern that we always receive from cities, and we do set up in the afternoon, but we always work around. We don't ask for any area to be designated just for us. So we just work around the folks that are there. We have a very small footprint. There's no stage. There's no. It's really minimal. It's an electric piano. That's about it. That's about 10 by 10 or something like that feet. And there's a check-in tent, which is out of the way. That's usually where kind of people walk in. So that's out of the way of the beachgoers. So we don't ask anyone to move or anything like that. The event itself, when people arrive, is not till after the beach day. So we would typically do it at sunset when the beachgoers have gone, and that means their cars are gone with them. And so we always have this kind of nice handoff that takes place very naturally from the beach-going public to the people arriving for the event, and that's worked very smoothly everywhere we've been.
Can you help me understand the footprint size again? I heard you say 10 by 10.
Yeah, there's a check-in tent
that you need.
Yeah, so there's a check-in tent which is 10 by 10, and then the piano. Again, it's a electric piano, not a real piano. The electric piano is approximately a 10 by 10 space, and some audio, like a small audio table for the electronics. Again, this is we can set that up on the side, and then when the space opens, we then move it to where the space opened up from the day.
And then
of course
the area? So there's the people that are participating. They have these headphones on. What's the range for them?
Right. So the headphone range is quite large. It'll work many, many hundreds of feet. So when they arrive, they typically will sit in proximity to the piano, of course, where there's room to do that. They become like, any beachgoer. They're coming with their blanket and beach chair, and they'll they have to find a spot like anybody else.
Is there anything other than music? Are you talking to the audience? Are you showing anything? Are you sort of engaging the audience?
Right. So I do an introduction. I welcome everyone, and after the introduction, which is about a few minutes, then I begin playing. It's all instrumental, and I'll oftentimes incorporate some poetry as spoken word into the experience. And then at the end, there's a Q&A where people can ask a question, and we provide that. But again, everything is done in the headphones. There's no speakers or anything amplified in any way.
Go ahead, Bill.
So I assume people will prepay for this?
That's right. People would sign up in advance, and that's how we know how many headphones to bring. And then when they come, we just check them in and give them the headphones.
Because I guess for parking, if you're out of town, you have to get on the beach sticker. So what are the logistics for that then?
They're going to have to pay. If they don't have a beach sticker, they have to pay at the gate like they normally would.
Yeah, that's right.
What is it again?
For a weekend, it's going to be $50. Yeah.
And what's the cost of the event?
The cost of the event typically ranges from about $38 to about $55, depending on when you purchase your ticket.
And on top of that, they might have to pay another $50 for parking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I believe it's $50 per car. Would that be correct?
Yeah, correct.
Okay, yeah. And we would encourage people to, ride share. And of course, we think it's going to be predominantly people with permits, since we'll be sending it around to people in the community. I don't think it's a destination event where someone's coming in from many hours away.
10 minutes puts you out of town, so it doesn't have to be many hours. I'm torn. I think it might be a nice event, but I'm not going to support it with for the dates that you're suggesting. If the date was after Labor Day, I think it might be a nice event, but it's in the summer season. You're talking 7:30 sunset. In mid-June is almost 8:30. Friday night, Saturday night, people do go to the beach and linger. So they're going to be there. They're not moving out of the parking lot till very late. So while I think it might be a very nice event, I might attend myself, I'm not going to support the request as it has been presented here tonight. But I'm only one member, so it's a full commission here.
And this is a for-profit venture, correct?
We're actually a nonprofit, and we do support the nonprofit through the ticket sales. But we offer to every experience, we offer a pay-what-you-can model for those in the community that are going through financial difficulty. But we do support it through that. And so we've never had this issue in the height of summer. Across many much more popular and denser populated beaches, from Miami Beach to Fort Lauderdale to many other places, Central Park, etc., where we have the same conditions. And it is I've been there many times. It's a sizable beach, which is why we wanted to approach you to bring it there, because we do feel it could accommodate the public doing their thing without any interference. We're happy to be off to the side from the main pavilion, whatever would help you get comfortable with this. So I hope you reconsider.
Good question for Anthony. Is there sort of a side of an area that that they could go that
I don't
would be
necessarily
more out of the way?
I don't necessarily have an issue with where they want to do it. My issue is when they want to do it. Height of beach season, Memorial Day to Labor Day is the beach season here. And it just adds that extra layer of complexity with parking and all that. I mean, we could advertise ride share and all that, but you're still going to have people that are paying $50 to park, where if you did this right after Labor Day, early September, parking is not an issue at all anymore as far as charging people. So that's my issue. I'm not worried about 300 people showing up to the beach. Again, I love the silent, I don't want to call it silent disco, silent concert type event. I think it's a great idea, and I think it would be well received. But my issue right now is the summer. June 14th not even available. That's one of our Sand Jam movie nights, so I know that day is not going to work. The 15th, does work on paper, but like I said, my concern is still middle of the beach season.
The schools are also getting out this year on June 13th, so I feel like there's going to be a lot of graduation parties down there that weekend, which could, especially with like Penfield not really being super accessible.
And that's the other thing is we'll have extra people at Jennings because Penfield is closed, the building.
Yeah.
What is the capacity of the lot at Jennings?
900.
900?
Okay.
Yep.
It's really big.
Have you tried any other locations in Connecticut?
We can, but you're our first choice, and you're the ones we want to ask to the prom. So we came to you first because it really is such a beautiful space, and as you can imagine, we understand it's the summer, but again, we want people to be comfortable, and we want the weather to be as warm as possible, especially because in the evening it gets a little cooler. So we pushing it too far one direction or the other. We want it to be a very comfortable experience for the community there. Hopefully this is a relationship that we build, and we'd love to do it again in September as well. That's not a problem. Not that we wouldn't do it then, but we'd love to build a relationship as soon as we can with you. And I really can tell you I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead. You can finish up and then I'll ask a question.
Yeah, no, I totally hear this concern, and I could, again, if it was an issue, that would actually fall on us. It would not be an issue for the, for the commission. It would be a problem for us as the producers of it, and we would never do anything where people wouldn't be able to, park and find a spot on the beach, etc. So, so I definitely, we have considered this, and we have so much experience doing this for 10 years now in beaches around the country. This is not a new thing that we just came up with and we want to try out. We've done over 1,000 concerts around the country, and would love to bring it there. And if if there's an issue and it doesn't work out, of course, you don't have to let us back on, but we really know it's going to work great and the community's going to love it. So I hope you'll reconsider that.
My question is, if the commission doesn't support the event just based on the date only, would you guys be interested in possibly postponing it, or do you have something else scheduled?
Well, we do have a robust touring schedule, so we always offer dates we know we can slot it in. As an example, those dates are great because on the Thursday before, we're doing it in Central Park with the city, with New York City. So New York City Parks Commission. So we're just in the area, and so it was convenient. But again, if we need to reconsider dates, absolutely. I just would love to get the go ahead, and then we can all agree on dates that we're all comfortable with. That'd be a win as well.
Okay.
Well, it sounds like we'd be much more in favor of it if you were willing to push it off and not between the two holidays in the summer. So a date in September.
Would it be more amenable if it was perhaps initially for the first one, maybe not a weekend, so it's less busy? But because the summer really is, when I think we can draw people to the beach. And I think we can certainly try it again in September afterwards. But we love to really bring it to the community during the summer. But if if doing it during a weekday, like a Wednesday or Thursday, would be more comfortable, provide more comfort to you for that, which of course would be less busy than a Saturday. We can certainly see if we can make that happen. Would that be workable?
That would be certainly more workable than the 14th, 15th that we're talking about.
Sure.
Absolutely.
See, I disagree with that. I think as like the inaugural event that's coming to Fairfield, especially if we want to have future ones, I think it should be on a peak day. So I would be in support of it being on the 15th.
Okay. Well, thank you for that. We'd love to try it out, and if the initial one, if you want us to reduce the number from 300, we can also do that.
I think the concern is more around the date. I mean, that's my sense from the room.
Okay. Well, I heard that the date of the 15th was available. The 14th wasn't.
Available.
So, yes. So if the 15th is available, and if it's the busyness that's of concern, perhaps we can reduce from 300, down to say, 200 and change or something like that, and that would make it a much less of a significant issue. Would that make it alleviate the concern?
No.
Does anyone want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second. We're talking June 15th, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm so appreciative.
Okay, that doesn't get the approval for you yet. That's just,
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
I have one other question. How do you handle walk-ups?
We handle them based on the rules of our host. So if you tell us that we can give them a QR code to purchase a ticket online, we will offer that QR code. We don't take money at the table there. We will just give a QR code, and they would purchase it on their own phone. And, of course, there is always a pay what you can. So if people walked up and said, I just want to come attend, we would let them do that.
okay. Anything else from the commission? Jen, anything from you?
No, I'm all set.
All right. So back to the commission. All those in favor? All those opposed? Jen? We have 3 in favor, 2 opposed.
Hell.
Well, you got to vote, and you're not here, and I find doing it over the phone very difficult, so you should know what's happening in the room.
No, I appreciate that. Can I ask one? Now I need to ask a question before I vote. Can I do that?
Yes, sure.
Yes, we'll allow it.
Could the issue of the number of attendants be something that is yet to be determined so that Fairfield has input on that? Is that part of this motion?
That is not part of the motion. The motion is to approve as it is being requested for the 14th or 15th. The 14th will not work. So we identified only the 15th, and the motion is to approve the event with up to 300 people.
Okay, then I guess I'm a no.
Again, if you tell us that Jen, if you tell us you want us to do it lower, we're very flexible. That's not a problem. That's what I offered. So
right.
So
I would be interested. Yeah, I would be interested in making that motion, but I would want to hear from Anthony what would be an amount that he would be more comfortable with.
I don't have an issue with the 300.
So
then I was unclear on your issue on the Saturday then.
My issue is just it's a Saturday in the middle of the summer. I'm not worried about 300 people going to the event. I'm worried about the people that are going to the beach.
So, Mr. Hidary, I'm sorry, the request has not passed, but I think you've heard that we would be happy to consider another date, particularly if it came beyond the Labor Day weekend. We do think it might be a nice event, but our concern, those who were opposed to it, our concern was that during the summer, it wasn't going to work for us. Yes.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Jen,
Yeah.
your concern was the number of attendees, and that was what indicated your vote?
The number of attendees on a Saturday, yes.
So,
But I would have been amenable to either a lower number on a Saturday or moving it to a weekday.
okay. So you're a no matter what?
No, if the number were lowered or the date was moved, I understand what the petitioner is asking regarding wanting to take advantage of the warmth of the summer to help an inaugural event. So I'm amenable to between the holidays, but I would suggest either a weekday. The only other thing I would suggest is August, which has a tremendous movement of Fairfield families who go out of town. June and July are much busier. So I'm still open to the event, not Saturday, June 15th at 300 people.
What would be the number of people you would be comfortable?
Oh, I was trying to talk Anthony into giving me a recommendation.
It sounds like Anthony's okay with 300. I could offer 250. Would 250 make everyone happy? And we can proceed?
Anthony, can you give a reason why that is a bad idea? Or is there something that would make you more comfortable in the summer between the holidays with this event?
I think the concern is the date. During, whether it's 200 or 300, I know personally I am not going to be in favor of it, given the date on a Saturday evening in the summer. And I don't know, I'm not going to put words in Anthony's mouth, but I think the main concern is the date, not the number.
So what about something like Wednesday, June 12th?
Graduation.
Yeah, I think earlier that week you've got graduations and moving up ceremonies. So bigger conversation.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I know what you're saying.
All right. Yeah, Wednesday, June 19th.
Is it possible to agree on the event, and we can then work with Kelly on the date? Does that make sense? Just so we have a broad agreement on moving forward at a certain number of people?
Yeah, I'm going to amend the motion. But I do have another question before we do that, if we're going to do that.
Yeah, please.
This question's for you, Anthony. Historically, what are the numbers at Sand Jam?
Probably about 300.
All right.
It's right in that neighborhood.
So
maybe a little more.
Numbers are not a problem.
So, then I do have another question. So if there's 300 people, as you're proposing, and you say it's anywhere from about $38 to $50 a person, so if you just use an arbitrary number of 40, so times 300, that's $12,000. And you said earlier that you are a not-for-profit. So where does that $12,000, $15,000 if it's $50 average ticket?
Sure.
Where does that money go to? And you said you've played thousands of these events.
Sure. So thank you for the question. First of all, there's about, I would say, 20%, if not a little more, of the audience uses the pay what you can model. So they might put in $5, $10, $20 in that range. So the average ends up being, a lot lower. That's number one. Number two, we do all of our own marketing and advertising for the event. So we'll typically spend about 40 to 50% of the revenue generated for letting the community know and getting the word out. And so that's that portion. There's a staff that drives and sets up the event and breaks it down and takes it back and cleans everything. And so there's quite a cost in terms of staff. So, and then the overhead, there's, Aaron on my team and other team members. So it goes to the overhead of the organization. Again, number of 1,000 was over about a 10-year period. So it's not, that's just to give you a sense of that we've been at this for a long time and have a lot of experience with it.
So the revenue is being paid to those who are involved. It's not like a typical charity that we are working with here in town who does a fundraiser and then donates the funds to a particular charity. The revenue that's coming in is being paid to you and the employees.
To be clear, yes, it goes to the operations, but we also then bring this experience to those who can't come to a place like the beach. We bring it to senior centers and nursing homes and underprivileged communities around the country. So they're not able to come to any beach and pay and do that. So it's a balance of activities. The experience itself is one that's of tremendous benefit. So it's not just a concert where there's a rock band playing and the money goes to the actual experience is one that's of benefit to the community, and that's the primary reason we want to bring it there as well.
Is Mind Travel a 501c3?
That's correct. It's the Mind Travel Foundation, which is a 501c3.
And all these employees are employees of the foundation?
Yes, and most of them would be not technically employees. They would be people we contract for the event, for the day, for hourly type workers who are working in that particular city. And then we do that in many different cities.
Brian, could we look to approve the event contingent upon finding a suitable date with Kelly and Anthony like we did last month for
yes.
the field day at Sherman?
That was a little tighter with the request because we approved it, but because of the marathon, we were looking for that date. Right. I think we had an idea of the follow-up date that we were going to go to, as opposed to something that's open in business. So I don't.
I can withdraw my motion, so I would be in favor of doing that. So I think we are all in agreement that we like the idea.
I don't disagree with that.
Okay.
But I know, just my opinion is I don't like it during the summer months. But
and again, the beachgoers always have the right of way. We never ask them to go anywhere.
Murray, at this point, you're going to have to let the commission speak.
Of course. Sorry, apologize.
We will get back to you, but just let us have a quick dialogue here.
Of course.
Okay, here's my issue. If we have no problem with 300 people coming for Sand Jam the night before, why do we have a problem with 300 people coming for this event the next night?
What is Sand Jam?
Movie night. It's like the little kids' movie night.
Okay. Because that's a Park and Rec event. That's
people that are already at the beach are participating in mainly.
That's like saying, if we are putting Parks and Rec, teams on a field, why, if we allow that, why don't we allow everyone? It's
right. But I just think that if we don't try this, like if we don't see if it would work on a weekend, on a peak night when it would probably do the best for them and they would have the best chance of probably coming back, why don't we try? And if it doesn't work, then we pivot for the following year.
And especially if there's no concerns from Anthony, right?
Yeah, my concern is that it's during the beach season. We, to my knowledge, in all my years here, I cannot recall an outside event, non-Parks and Recreation event, that we've allowed to take place at any of our beaches during the beach season. We've always pushed the carnivals. We've pushed the road races outside of beach season. There might be one exception that I think I can come up with right now, but won't throw that 5K out there, but
Yeah.
it's different than all the rest. It's
Yeah.
a much different road race than all the rest of them.
Mm-hmm.
But outside of that, I can't come up with anything else. And I don't want to say that it's also kind of like a reprieve for the neighborhood who has to deal with event after event, weekend after weekend there.
Especially this year with Penfield.
So, I mean, that's just, I'm sensitive to the neighborhood area, but I'm not opposed to this event in the way they're doing. I think this has huge potential. Like, I think it's a great idea. I just don't know about the timing. That's
Weather-wise, I mean,
First week
June
in
weather,
September.
in September, the weather's pretty much the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and it's probably drier in September than they are in June. You know, is what I would say.
I would support
Yeah.
a September event. Even
I would much rather also see a September event. What would be the earliest date in September that we could start looking at that might be available?
Right. I don't have the calendar in front of me, so I don't know. I know
Could
we
be a
have
weekend.
Paddle Fest
I would think
one
September
day
2nd is
during,
Labor Day, so
September 2nd,
during
Labor Day,
September.
September 3rd.
I would have to look.
Except, do we know if this event would even be interested in Fairfield after Labor Day for a first-time introduction to the town?
That's what I'm saying, Jen.
Yeah, we don't know yet, and we will go back to Mr. Hillary in a moment with that.
Okay.
We're just trying to find what we think is the best option from our perspective.
I'm sure in almost any other town, Westport, we're going to have a similar issue. I can imagine. But, you know, that we're having it.
So we have the added issue that one of our beaches is essentially closed down. We typically have two.
So there's going to be a lot more people on Jenny. Mr. Hillary, would the first weekend in September, either the Friday or Saturday after Labor Day, you said Labor Day is the 2nd?
It's that first Monday, yeah. First Monday.
So the 6th or the 7th, is that something that you could entertain?
Or any other time. Just on your travel.
Yeah, I mean, we can certainly look at that. I think that the September 14, 15 dates are free dates now in September in that area. We perform on the West Coast earlier in that month, but you know, again, the cities that we get requests from so many cities to bring it to, and you know, and we don't go everywhere. So you know, with all due humility, we are a quite in-demand experience for many cities. So we really think the community will benefit from it in the summer, as well as potentially September. But to wait till then, because after that it puts us into the winter, it gets too cold. So there's not a lot of time to really to work this through. And it sounded like we were quite close on figuring something out for the summer. And if you're doing other events like movies and things, it's an even lower impact than that. So
You can't compare the two.
Okay.
That's not relevant for this conversation.
Okay.
So, and the request for the 14th, 15th has not been approved. If anyone wants to entertain making a motion for 14th or 15th of September, we can listen to that and discuss it. Otherwise, I think we're going to move on.
We can't do a motion that keeps an open date?
Yeah, we have to do a motion to keep an open date.
Why?
Because it's to, we are trying to make decisions that are definitive, that you know, allow us to put it on the schedule and then move forward. You know, we don't want to leave here with an open, unless we can tighten it a little bit.
Well, but we did that with the field event for last year, for the last meeting. We left it open, so we didn't want to.
No, I know. I say what I just said again. Unless we can tighten we can't just approve or just completely open. The field event was going to be that date if we can find an alternative location, or I think it was I think we picked out another date, specific date.
Proposal for like a weekday as opposed to a weekend?
We can offer August 6, 7, 8 if that would make you more comfortable during the week.
On the 8th.
Hang on, we're looking at the schedule.
Tuesday or Wednesday.
I don't have anything else there, but it just San Jan on the 8th.
So the 6th or 7th?
The 8th doesn't work, but
The 6th or 7th then?
What day are we saying now?
the 8th doesn't work.
So 6th or
The
7th.
The 6th or 7th would work.
What is that?
That's
Tuesday,
a-
Wednesday.
Tuesday or Wednesday.
I'd be more in favor of that as again, this is the first time we're doing something like this, and I think it can pick up if the neighborhood enjoy. I mean, it could become a very positive thing, but for that first time, we don't want it to be an intrusion if it doesn't come off the way that we're.
All right, then.
Yeah, exactly. That's right.
All right, if we're going to consider this, someone make a motion, but if we're going to make a motion, make it very specific if it's going to include a certain number of participants. So, if we're going to make a motion for either the 6th or 7th, I want it to be inclusive of the number. If it's going to be 300 or if it's going to be a lesser amount, incorporate that into the motion, please.
On the question?
You can. We haven't.
Who here is opposed to the number 300?
No. If you're not, then no, we're not.
Okay.
Can we make it the 6th because the state is busy? Don't you have a big
Yeah,
event
the
on
8th is not available.
So the 6th with the rain date of the 7th?
That works for them. Fine with me.
Murray, does that work for you?
Yes, that works.
So do we need to amend the motion on the table, or is there?
No, there is no motion on the table.
So then, I will make a motion to approve this event at up to 300 people on August 6th with a rain date of August 7th.
Second that.
We need to be specific on the location, or that's part of the.
That's part of the original request. Penfield will still be Penfield under construction.
Correct.
So the overflow is still going to, go to Jennings, Zasco, and everywhere else. So, okay.
But it's a Tuesday.
It's Tuesday. And what has been our experience of, of course it makes a difference if it's an 80-degree sunny day and, but
Yeah, I mean, August is
Tuesdays versus Fridays are significantly less.
definitely less. Yep.
And the parking on Tuesdays versus the weekend?
Much less.
What is the parking? Is it 25 for out of town?
It's It's $40 on a Tuesday.
$40 for out of town
Yep.
as opposed to 50 on the
Yep.
weekends.
Yep.
And then for the 4th of July, we limit the number of out of towns, but on a normal day, we don't limit the number of out of towns.
And the lot.
Space in the lot.
Yep.
And will we have the gate by then?
Should be done Friday.
But the gate is not, it doesn't have anything to do with the ticket collection.
Nope.
We never did that electronic ticket collection.
Not yet.
All right. Any further conversation? All right. Then Jen, any questions or conversation?
Nope.
Okay. All those in favor? Jen?
Yes.
Opposed? Okay. Mr. Hidary, you have an approval for a date of August 6th with a rain date of the 7th. And the number that you proposed, 300, is the capacity that you can work with.
Many thanks to the whole commission. Thank you so much to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, on to the next item. Anthony Edwards, on behalf of Kathleen and Maxim, seeking place a plaque to honor Abigail Burr Hall in the old burying ground.
All right. Thank you. For those of you who don't know, we actually oversee 3 cemeteries here in town through the Parks and Recreation Department in connection with the Fairfield Museum, Mike Jaley, and our probate court, our probate judge, Kate Maxim. We received a request to place a plaque in honor of Abigail Burr Hall, who was the wife of Lyman Hall, who is one of the signers of the Declaration of Independence. She's buried right here in the old burying ground, which is that's the one on Beach Road, which is right next to the Fairfield Museum. So pretty straightforward request. This plaque would be, as stated, 9 inches wide by 6 inches high. The only request that I had gotten from I believe it was the Historic District, reached out and just asked that we make sure that the stake is actually cemented into the ground to try to deter vandalism. Because unfortunately, we've had plaques like this in the past go missing or kicked over, and so that's where we are. So that's what we're asking for.
I have no issue. They want to make a motion?
Vice Chairman. At your meeting.
I just said that to him. He's like, no.
You know I'm not great at points of order. That's not my forte.
All right, so I made a motion.
Do we have a second?
Oh, I'll be a second.
Okay. Jamie's got the motion. Bridget with the second. Any further discussion?
Okay, so as soon as we're back, I will.
All those in favor?
Oh, public?
Sorry.
Public? Oh.
I just was telling Ed, I'm going to kick you out in a minute now, so if you want, go make yourself comfortable, and I'll call you when we're back.
We have a motion, a second, discussion.
We had a lot done when you were out.
And did you see me go out there in mind travel or even the distillery? I'm sure. I figured you could handle that.
Yeah.
Okay, all those in favor? Jen?
Yep.
Okay, just tell me who made the,
Jamie.
Bridget.
Bridget.
Jamie. Bridget. Okay, super. Congratulations.
Thank you. I look forward to this
That was a
one.
rough one. Okay.
Good job. What date?
Jen, Board of Ed report.
Great question.
Yeah, the main thing I think that might be of interest to the commission is we did have a special meeting yesterday, and 2 of the agenda items, one was regarding racial imbalance, and if you haven't been following that with a state statute, we believe that'll go into effect. They've put a pause on anything related to racial imbalance, so the fact that we were charged by the state with creating an amendment has now been paused until July 1st of 2025. We don't know what this buys us, but we weren't planning on redistricting. This doesn't change that. This just leaves us basically being able to turn our attention to other board business and see what the state does with it over the course of this coming year, if anything. So that's one update. The second is that we had a very lengthy, over 2-hour discussion because we're preparing to approve a new long-term facilities plan, looking at the needs of all of our buildings. And I know that there's some overlap with Parks and Rec because you're waiting to hear what the heck we're going to do with Dwight. And so that is, I don't have any answers about that for you, but that's an ongoing topic that we're working on right now. And that's it.
I have a question for you.
Hey, Jen, I have a quick question about Child's Garden.
Yes.
So people were asking me today when and why the decision was made to close Child's Garden because the Board of Ed is taking it over. Can you talk about that?
Yeah. So we don't quite understand where the communication fell down a little bit on that. What we know is that it's a town property and if anyone's not familiar with the Child's Garden, it's over on Mona Terrace. It's right next to the senior center down there, what used to be the old Oldfield School, and of course there are those soccer fields there. And so there has been, I believe, kind of a growing belief in town hall that the town needed to reclaim that property. Child's Garden leases the property right now. They're a private business, but the town has growing facility needs. The nursing is looking for it. The senior center is looking to expand. The Board of Ed was looking for space. And so the Board of Ed has nothing to do with we have no authority to tell a Child's Garden to do anything. That's totally within the purview of the town. It is our understanding, but again, I'm not in the room and no one on the Board of Ed was, but it was our understanding that a Child's Garden had been notified that their lease would not be renewed, which means they are still there all of next year. This would not be in effect until I think the lease runs out in July of 2025. But again, even if it weren't the Board of Ed looking to claim that space, there are several other groups in town, part of town government, which are looking to take advantage of that space. Again, the space needs are tremendous. So apparently, my understanding, I'm not sure where the communication fell down, if it was not completely clear from town hall to the director of Child's Garden, or if the director of Child's Garden was still looking to petition otherwise, or if the director simply hadn't told the parents yet, wanting to work at his or her own pace. I don't know that. What I do know is we've gotten several emails today from very upset Child's Garden parents, which I don't blame them if their way of finding out about this was through just one part of a conversation in our facilities plan last night, because the Board of Ed is keenly interested in possibly using that site for the ECC, for the Early Childhood Center. So that's a very long answer to your question. Ultimately, I don't know where the communication flaw is, what the source of it is. I just know a lot of parents got some upsetting news last night, and I don't know why they found out this way, why no one had told them.
Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Okay. Director and Programs Report.
I apologize. There's no written report. I haven't had time to do one. Unfortunately, I've been doing 3 jobs. As you guys know, Chelsea Deskin left us about a month ago, so we're in the process of replacing her. Our superintendent of parks also left us, so I've been 8 weeks without him, and the administration at the moment won't fill the position. So I apologize. I just haven't had time to get to those things. We got a lot of projects that are on the books right now that we are trying to work through, and I'm trying to juggle 3 jobs to get them done. So I apologize, and that's my report.
And we have the clamming clinic that was approved. So I reached out to Kelly this week and suggested that these approvals be posted.
Makes sense.
Okay.
I think you know what?
Mm-hmm. Yep, makes sense.
So we're going to post these along with the minutes from now on.
Okay.
So we can always, if we need to, we can go back and track when something was officially approved by the director.
Okay.
So, okay. Next, we're going to have a discussion about the nomination for the Jackie Durrell Scholarship. This is going to be a sensitive topic, so we'd like to do this in executive session. I've already asked one member of the public to, we're going to have, once we go into executive session, we're going to shut that down. But in order to go into executive session, we need a motion, a second, and we need to have a majority, like a regular vote, and then we'll go into executive session. We'll turn this off. to officially hear the motion, the second, and then, so if someone could please make a motion.
I'll make a motion to go to executive session.
No, they can have a meeting.
I can second that.
Okay, so we have,
As soon as they vote.
yes, I'll tell you when.
Okay.
So,
Relax.
Bill has made the motion, Dylan has second. Any further questions or comments? All those in favor? Jen?
Unfortunately, yes.
Okay, so we are now in executive session.
Bye, Jen.
Bye.